The ROCS Center is a unique project in the sense that we don't just look at one thing. I mean, normally as a biological oceanographer, we go to the sea and we look at what's happening in the ocean. But what we're really interested in the ROCS Center is what's happening in the ocean, how it impacts what happens on land, and how people respond to that. And what we're looking at is, first of all, climate, because climate has an enormous impact on the ocean, and it changes the nature in the ocean. And when it does that, it also changes the ecosystem services available for people on land. We have a hypothesis, a general hypothesis. It's not only our own, but there's this general idea that changes in ocean nature, in the plankton in the ocean, and how much photosynthesis the plankton actually could carry out was influenced by climate, but it in return also influenced climate. So we haven't, until now, we haven't had the possibility to go in and look at how nature and climate have changed together through historical time. What we do in the ROCS Center is that we take sediment cores from the ocean that we can analyze for DNA. And when we do that, we can describe the ecosystems or how nature worked under different climate conditions. But it's not only about looking at what happens at the ocean, because here you have Iceland in the middle of the North Atlantic, and clearly the climate that they're enjoying or not in Iceland is a product of what the ocean is bringing to them. So there's a clear interaction between the ocean and Iceland and the nature on Iceland, and we want to understand that. So we also take sediment cores from lakes, and from those sediment cores we can also analyze the DNA and in that way describe nature and how nature in Iceland changed with respect to changing climate. For the last 800 years or so, there have also been people in Iceland. So we can also study how the changes that occurred in the nature and the climate in Iceland influenced the people in Iceland. And actually, we can also look at how the presence of people changed the nature in Iceland. So we're looking a lot at interactions between ocean and life, the possibilities for life, both for nature and for people in Iceland, and how the people in Iceland influence nature, and how nature in the ocean may have impacted climate. Iceland is an absolutely perfect place to do this kind of work. It's sort of a natural laboratory because there's really very little that can influence the climate conditions, no huge mountain ranges in the middle or whatever that can influence the climate. The climate is very much controlled by the signals it's getting from the ocean. And once you get people in Iceland, they really have to stay there, at least until recent times. So they didn't have the possibility to migrate away from some of the changes that they were seeing. They had to adapt. So this is a perfect place to do this kind of a study that I consider to be a real Earth system science study, because we're looking at interactions between ocean and land, interactions between nature and people, interactions between people and nature, and interactions between nature and climate.